Do you know what happened to her?
No. You know who does?
Tell me.
How would I know? What happened to Natalie?
The last 26 hours of 19-year-old Natalie Bollinger's life are a mystery.
Police say they are convinced of one thing: foul play.
We want information that's going to help us ultimately find a killer.
You guys have been harassing me for a week straight. My best friend is dead. I've been blamed for everything from stalking to murder over this. They painted me as some sort of violent animal on the damn news.
On a cold, brisk afternoon in Broomfield, Colorado, 23-year-old Joey Marino calls 911. His girlfriend is nowhere to be found, and he can't shake the sinking feeling that something is terribly wrong.
What's going on over there?
I know I probably called too early because I came home and my girlfriend is missing, and her phone's here, and that's just very weird. She doesn't ever leave her phone anywhere. All of her stuff's here. I don't understand it. It's not like her. She's supposed to be waiting for me.
And tell me, what's her name?
Natalie Bollinger.
Okay. Are you at the apartment right now?
I am.
Stay there. I have an officer on the way, okay?
When officers arrive at Joey's apartment, he tells them that, along with Natalie, his 9mm Glock is also missing. They then ask him to walk them through the last time he spoke with her.
So you guys talked today, or no?
Mm-hmm.
On your break?
I have to break at 9.
9 a.m.?
9 and at 1:30, and we were texting. I could have swore we talked on the phone, but it must have just been a text.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in contact with her all day until the last text I got from her was someone's at the door.
What time was that at?
That was 1:10.
Does Natalie have any mental health issues?
She's tried to commit suicide a number of times.
Illegal drugs, things like that, things that may influence her decisions right now?
I know that she had a stint of a drug problem in Virginia.
With what? What would she have a stint with?
Painkillers and anything in that sort of sense.
Okay, so she sent you that text message saying somebody's at the front door.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't been able to get a hold of her since.
No.
Who do you think knows you guys live here?
We moved in Friday. The only person who knows is her sister. That's the only person who's been over.
What's your sister's name?
Alicia.
Officers learn Alicia and Natalie are identical twins, 19 years old, with Natalie arriving 3 minutes first. From the beginning, their bond is unbreakable. When they were babies, their parents put them in separate cribs. But neither one would sleep unless the other was beside her. And they've been inseparable ever since. Though their personalities couldn't be more different, they balance each other, with Natalie as the steady anchor keeping Alicia grounded. Yet even while she's that source of strength for her sister, Natalie quietly battles her own inner demons. She wrestles with depression and mental health challenges, pain she often hides behind her smile. As an outlet, Natalie pours herself into art, spending countless hours drawing and creating, using her work to explore the complexities of her inner world. Growing up, Natalie and Alicia split their time between their dad's family in Colorado and their mother in Virginia. Along the way, Natalie's personal struggles shape a deep sense of empathy, a compassion for anyone who's hurting or less fortunate, ultimately guiding her toward a career in nursing. But after graduating high school in Thornton, Colorado in 2016, Natalie's life takes a turn. Her grandfather, someone she's always been deeply close to, becomes terminally ill, and she spends his final months by his side, caring for him.
I do love you very much, and hope to take care of you from heaven.
When he passes, she's devastated, and her depression worsens to the point where suicidal thoughts begin to take hold. That's when she moves in with her boyfriend, Joey. He supports her through the grief, and together, they try to rebuild her stability. They get engaged, and for a moment, it seems like Natalie's life is finally starting to get back on track. But that fragile progress is shattered when she suddenly goes missing. As Joey talks with officers, he reveals a critical detail. Just 6 days earlier, Natalie had filed a restraining order against someone who'd been stalking her for quite some time.
This man that we have the protection order against is Sean Schwartz, and he's been threatening to come hunting for her and all this stuff.
Joey isn't the only one raising Sean's name. When detectives call Alicia, she shares the same fears for her twin sister.
Hello?
Hi, is this Alicia?
Yeah.
Hi, my name's David Hyde. I'm a detective at the Broomfield Police Department. I know it hasn't been that long a time, but have you heard from your sister at all?
No, not at all. I'm so freaked out because, she's never done anything like this before. I think something's wrong here. So I'm going to go look for her. I don't want to just sit at home and wait.
Okay. Any thoughts on where she is?
Honestly, I'm really concerned about the person, Sean.
2 years earlier, Natalie meets 37-year-old Sean Schwartz, a homeless man who spends much of his time near her neighborhood in Colorado. True to who she is, she stops to check on him, listens to his story, and shows him the kind of compassion he rarely receives. They form a genuine connection, and Sean quickly grows to depend on her kindness. He often turns to social media to express his thoughts, posting emotional messages and videos about feeling misunderstood, and about how Natalie is one of the few people who truly sees him for who he is.
People look at me weird, but you get from me what you put into me. If you put love into me, I am feeling that love instantly. If you love me in person and you can hold me in person, you will feel that I am a person.
Sean and Natalie stay in touch on Facebook, messaging regularly. But as time passes, Sean's messages don't just continue. They escalate. He floods her with long posts, emotional rants, and constant attempts to get her attention. And when Natalie doesn't respond, he takes it personally, spiraling into panic and distress.
If you're not going to talk to me, if you're not going to take the time to talk to me, don't tell me you're going to. That's why I freaked out about Natalie. My whole life this has happened. That's why I have panic attacks over it. I really can't explain how important it is for me to be able to end this panic attack. I have to be able to talk to her.
The constant messages make Natalie feel uneasy. Her kindness has unintentionally given Sean a sense of attachment she can't manage, and the relationship slips into a full-blown obsession. She begins to distance herself, breaking off all communication, and Sean responds with bitterness and resentment, lashing out online.
I tried hard to make that work. I tried hard to be a good person, and you know what? Happened, and I wasn't even worth listening to.
By November 2016, Natalie moves back to Virginia to stay with her mom. But even from across the country, Sean refuses to let go. He drives all the way from Colorado to Virginia, parks in front of her mother's home, and leans on the horn until Natalie's mom comes outside. Frightened, she calls authorities, and Sean is taken to a local hospital. But even that doesn't stop him. When Natalie returns to Colorado, the harassment escalates. Sean keeps posting about her online, messages and videos filled with desperation, obsession, and anger. Even when Natalie asks him to leave her alone and blocks his accounts, he creates new ones to continue contacting her, each message growing more threatening and dangerous than the last.
It was bad enough that I left Virginia with my hero hating me. I'm not even worth listening to. Yeah, no, at this point in my life, there is not going to be good coming.
Fearing for her safety, Natalie posts a warning to Facebook on December 13th. Hey y'all, I have a public announcement. There is a man, Sean Schwartz, I met 2 years ago. Long story short, I've asked him to leave me alone, and he won't. He's harassing me, threatening my family, and sending my friends harassing messages. I'm sharing this post because he's posting slander about me all over Facebook. So if you receive a message, please ignore him. I am sincerely sorry and trying to fix this. 2 days later, she texts a friend saying that if anything happens to her, they need to tell police it was Sean. Determined to protect herself, Natalie finally decides to secure a restraining order against him. Less than a week later, Natalie disappears. On December 29th, police locate Sean at a friend's home and take him in for questioning.
Did you leave the house at all for the rest of Wednesday?
No, I'm a recluse. I'm scared of people. You guys, not you in specific,
Sure.
but people scare the out of me.
Okay. So then, you go to sleep at the apartment that night? Wake up Thursday morning at the apartment? Okay. Let's talk about Thursday. What goes on Thursday?
The same thing. Like I really didn't go anywhere.
Stayed at the apartment all day?
I was there all day.
Okay. So
I haven't left there except to go to the corner store to get stuff.
On Wednesday?
I don't know what days, but everything there might have been a purchase or two I made with cash, but I'm pretty sure all my purchases were made on my debit card.
Okay. And then today, tell me about your day today.
I've been trying to find Natalie all day.
Do you talk to Natalie on a regular basis, or has she talked to you in the last couple of days?
I wish, dude, if she talked to me in the last couple of days, she'd be with her family already. I had thought she was in Virginia. I didn't even know she was here. I just wish you didn't have to waste your time on me.
And we're only looking to you for help. That's why we're here, so we don't think you're a waste because you know her.
Thank goodness.
While police question Sean, a concerned citizen calls 911 to report something found on a rural stretch of land at a dairy farm just outside Broomfield.
Right, so this is Adams County. So it's Riverdale Road. Is it at McIntosh Farm?
Yeah, so it says Macintosh Dairy, and we took a turn, and as we were going by, we just saw some boots and a shirt sticking out, and I didn't know what it was, so we stopped and looked, and I'm pretty sure it was a dead girl.
So what makes you think that she might be DOA?
I didn't get close enough to really take a look, but I just saw somebody that's been slumped over, laying there for a while. I tried to talk to it, and it didn't move, didn't respond in any way. So, and it was definitely a person.
Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
When police arrive, they confirm the caller's grim discovery. And before long, local news crews begin reporting on the devastating details emerging from the scene.
The Adams County Sheriff's Office found a dead body off Riverdale Road. The agency first labeled this as a death investigation, but switched it over to a homicide.
Coroner confirms the body found last Friday is that of 19-year-old Natalie Bollinger.
The sheriff says it's too soon to know what really drove the crime. An autopsy revealed she died from a gunshot wound to the head, but with a potentially lethal level of heroin in her blood.
When investigators process the scene, they find 9mm Glock casings near Natalie's body, the same caliber as the gun Joey reported missing from their apartment. But the weapon itself is nowhere to be found. Aside from those shell casings, the scene offers little else. Detectives are now desperate for leads, working under mounting pressure from a community demanding answers.
No one has been arrested for Natalie's death. No one has even been named as a suspect, though police say they are convinced of one thing: foul play. What happened to Natalie, and why was she found dead at a dairy farm?
5 days after Natalie's body is found, the Adams County Sheriff's Department holds a press conference to provide an update on their investigation.
We are still trying to follow up on any leads that may be out there that's going to lead us to Natalie's killer. It was reported that she was a missing person, and just about 26 hours later is when we found the body. We don't have anybody who was talking with her in between that time period. Those are the critical hours to us. That's the information that we would want to try to find out how it is that she went from her home in Broomfield to being over there on Riverdale Road.
As the sheriff details the effort to piece together those missing 26 hours in Natalie's timeline, attention turns to the question everyone in the community is already asking. What about Sean Schwartz?
Natalie Bollinger went missing just days after she filed a restraining order against an older man that she'd befriended.
We have talked to him, and again, not ready to call anybody a suspect, but certainly a piece of our investigation, a piece of our timeline.
As the investigation intensifies, the story explodes into worldwide headlines, triggering a wave of online speculation. New groups form almost overnight, each dedicated to solving Natalie's murder.
Social media is swirling with theories about who killed Natalie. Some people believe Schwartz did. He replied on his own Facebook page, "Stop picking on me, stop blaming me."
I should admit the truth and take the punishment. Is that what you want? You want to pretend like I'm some monster? Live or die, this stuff needs to stop.
As the online community puts pressure on Sean, he grows defensive, posting video after video in response to the accusations.
You guys have been harassing me for a week straight. My best friend is dead. I've been blamed for everything from stalking to murder over this. Don't pretend like I'm some sort of super psycho serial killer if I didn't go super psycho serial killer and They painted me as some sort of violent animal on the damn news.
With no evidence to charge Sean in Natalie's murder, police continue watching him closely. And as his posts escalate, the concern becomes serious enough that they take him in for a 72-hour psychiatric hold.
Sean Schwartz, 37 years old. Here's what we know according to the court documents. I want to be real clear about him. He'd been making some posts on Facebook that led the police to conduct that welfare check. Police ultimately took him to the hospital, and that's where they alleged that he became combative and violent.
On January 10th, 2018, Sean Schwartz is released from police custody and walks out of the Boulder County Courthouse.
I've been instructed not to speak to y'all, but I got a few more fingers for you.
Well, do you know what happened to her?
No. You know who does?
Tell me.
How would I know? What happened to Natalie? What do you guys know? All I know is from Facebook Messenger, and I hate Facebook.
What did Facebook Messenger say?
It doesn't matter. You need to get a hold of the police and talk to them.
After a thorough investigation, including reviewing electronic communications, verifying alibis, and examining physical evidence, investigators determined that Sean is not responsible for Natalie's murder. As news coverage spreads and online groups intensify their demands for answers, attention turns to Natalie's boyfriend, Joey Marino, who reported her missing, and whose gun matching the shell casing at the scene is also unaccounted for.
Back on the day that Natalie went missing, within 3 hours, the family was calling in and reporting her missing. She was a 19-year-old teenager. You wouldn't think someone would be surprised that they're gone for 3 hours during the day.
If you look at it from the flip side, if you wanted to do harm to Natalie Bollinger and you found out she had a protective order against someone else, isn't that a good opportunity, or am I reaching?
That is a great point.
Investigators review workplace surveillance, track his cell phone pings, and speak with witnesses, confirming Joey's alibi for the time frame unaccounted for in Natalie's disappearance. With his alibi verified, he is cleared, and detectives are back to square one.
What happened to Natalie Bollinger has been a mystery since her body was found in Adams County December 29th.
3 weeks into the case, Natalie's killer remains at large. And with evidence scarce, the investigation is starting to grow cold. Then, on January 17th, her cell phone records arrive, and something in the data immediately grabs their attention. They uncover 111 messages exchanged with a number that doesn't appear in her contacts, all deleted. The texts start around 5 a.m. on the day she vanished, and by noon, they abruptly stop. Investigators trace the mystery number, and it leads them to a man named Joseph Lopez. The 22-year-old is the father of a newborn baby and works at a Domino's Pizza in Thornton, about 10 miles from Natalie's apartment. Lopez is quiet and unassuming, with no criminal history, and no one who knew Natalie has ever heard of him, leaving investigators to wonder how he could be connected to her. As they dig deeper, they discover on the day of Natalie's murder, he was vomiting at work and called in sick for the rest of the week. Determined to get answers, detectives bring Lopez in for questioning.
I thank you for coming here, right? You know, we're just going down the list here, you know what I mean? So, and unfortunately, your number was there, so yeah, that's why we had to come in and talk to you. You're free to leave at any time, you know that, right?
Yes. So, what I'm thinking this is all about is someone I was talking to over on Craigslist. I was just on there, you know, looking for like pen pals.
And who would that be?
I don't know her name. I never asked. But what drew me to what she had posted was it was very weird.
Do you recall kind of what that said that got your attention?
Well, the title itself just said, I'm thinking about putting a hit on myself.
I'm thinking about putting a hit on myself?
I believe that's what it said.
Damn.
Lopez explains that earlier that morning, he'd been browsing Craigslist in the Women Seeking Men section when he came across a post that read, "Can you put a hit out on yourself? I need someone to do this for me. I'm not trying to be saved. This is not a cry for help. I've made this decision. This isn't a game. I just need help doing it."
So my first thought was, okay, well, someone obviously needs help and hasn't been getting the help that they need. I suffer from depression and I've tried to kill myself a few times, and I ended up in mental hospital because of it. And you know, being the type of person that I am, I will do anything to help someone at least stay alive, you know. My first thought was, I really want to help this girl. So after a little bit, I was like, you know, I'm not getting anywhere, you know. Let's see if I can convince her to meet up with me and see what happens. So I acted as though I was responding to her ad.
What was she asking you in those texts?
She was asking me, like, you know, how do you want to do it? Where do you want to go and stuff? And I didn't really give her an answer. You know, it was just real general because, you know, I wasn't really thinking about it, you know. I convinced her to, you know, meet up with me. So I went to her place and I picked her up and we went for a drive. And during that drive, I wanted to learn what was going on and what was going on with her life and why she was so depressed and sad. And she's just real quiet and timid, you know, and I don't want to, you know, force her to talk too much because, you know, then it kind of gives away what I'm actually trying to do, you know.
What did she think you were there for?
She thought I was responding to the ad.
In what way?
Like, she thought I was going to be the one to do it.
To take her out?
We drove around for a little bit, you know, like 2 or 3 hours, I can't remember exactly, and we just talked. Eventually, I think she either got fed up with me, you know, because I guess she was pretty serious about what was going on, and, you know, there was nothing much more we could talk about, and we went back in the direction where she was living, and she said, you know, just drop me off here. That's last time I saw her, really. It sucks that it turned out the way it did.
You said you're a smoker. Do you want to take a quick break, go out and smoke?
I would love one.
Now that Lopez has admitted he was with Natalie on the day she was murdered, he's placed himself at the center of the investigation. Detectives pause to regroup, and when they return, Lopez is read his Miranda rights.
How long were you guys communicating on Craigslist?
I know it was really early in the morning.
That same day?
Yeah.
So you have no contact with her before? This was just, and it just kind of went?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So during that whole time talking, did she ever tell you her name or anything?
I never asked. I initially went in, you know, thinking, you know, I just want to talk to her, you know, see what's going on, find out what exactly is happening, but I knew if the way I worded it, she wouldn't talk to me at all.
Talk about what you're talking to her about, because she thinks you're legit, because you're feeding into it. Talk about how you're feeding into it.
So, I mainly ask her what her plan would be, and how she wanted it to go.
And what is she saying when you say, how do you want to do it?
That's when she tells me that she was thinking about just doing it execution style, you know. She doesn't want to see it.
Do you own any guns?
No.
Okay. So then you let her know that, and then she says, I have a gun? Is that...
Well, I told her that, that I wouldn't be able to get one anytime soon, and that's when she brought it up.
And she said she had one?
Mm-hmm. She starts asking about, like, how much it would cost, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, usually it's like hundreds to thousands of dollars, or things that could be sold for, you know, value.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, the gun's worth money. So, you know, I went along with the role because I'm a very avid...
What does that mean, went along?
I'm a very avid role player online.
How do you go about taking the persona of a hitman, though? How do you take that role on?
It really fascinates me as a writer.
Yeah.
I have a character that's for the horror genre. His name is Aki. He's also just a psycho. You know, like, he'll lure you in, and that's...
Bam.
Yeah. My last year in high school, I was, you know, writing down a rough draft for something I wanted to experiment on.
Yeah.
And I left it in class, and it ended up getting me in trouble because they thought that I was actually going to hurt someone.
Oh, that's interesting, man.
What was that?
While Lopez describes his twisted alter egos and violent fantasies, detectives confront him with evidence from Natalie's case, revealing inconsistencies in his story.
How long do you think she's in your car?
Maybe 2.5, 3 hours-ish.
Okay, so you guys are cruising around for a good bit amount of time.
Good bit amount of time.
Did you take the highway the same way to get her back home?
No, I used a GPS to take side roads back up, and then I just went to work.
Okay. You never went down Riverdale or anything like that? You just shot straight up?
Nothing there.
Okay. So, you had your phone with you the whole time, right?
Yes.
Nobody ever used your phone?
No.
Just you, right?
Just me.
Okay. We have mapped out basically right here what he's holding right there. I'll show you.
Detectives present Lopez with a map of his movements on the day Natalie was murdered, reconstructed from cell tower pings from his phone. It shows him leaving his house, pinging near Natalie's apartment, and coming within 5 yards of the murder scene.
So, your phone's going and pinging off these towers. It shows us that you went to 116th and Riverdale.
I want to tell you, she was found at 116th and Riverdale in that area. We're here to try to figure out what happened to her, all right? And I think that you know. But there's some things I think you're leaving out, bro, okay? I just ask right now that you just come forward, bro, and you get everything off your chest, okay? Get everything, get it all out right now, buddy. Okay?
Thank you, man.
Lopez quickly revises his story, presenting a new version to detectives.
At some point, she just got really frustrated. She told me to pull over and...
What happened?
She did shoot herself. And I freaked out.
So obviously we're going to want to talk now about how it really went, okay? Now what's truth and what was not truth. Okay, let's start there.
So we did drive around for a little bit. You know, she was looking for places to do it. You know, for me to kill her. She just gets out of my car and I get out and I start talking to her. But she's over by the tree.
I want you to get down and actually show me, bro. Because I was not there, you were the only one that was there.
So she's like this for a little bit while I'm trying to talk to her. I'm not too far from her and I'm maybe like this, pretty close to her. I'm just trying to talk her out of it. And she shoots herself before I can try to reach and grab the gun.
You say the gun was like this? Or how?
She just sat down and she put it like this, and then she fired.
Detectives know Lopez is lying again. Forensic evidence proves Natalie's wound wasn't a contact shot.
Autopsy shows the gun was at least 3 feet away. So we know that didn't happen. Well, she didn't shoot herself. Did she give you the gun when you guys were kneeling down?
Let it out, bro.
You gotta get it off your chest.
Get it out. Get it out.
She asked you to do it? Or what'd you say, man?
She was begging
for you to do it.
Where's the gun? It's outside. Is it in your car?
It's in my trunk.
Her purse and everything there too?
Her bag's still there, yeah. Eventually, I just, I didn't want it to affect me anymore, so I decided just to forget about it.
Joseph Lopez, date of birth 6/6/95. He came to the sheriff's office on his own accord and agreed to talk with our investigators. After that interview that took place, Joseph was arrested for the murder of Natalie Bollinger, and he is now in the Adams County Sheriff's Office, and the formal charges will be coming forth.
The sheriff says they developed Lopez as a suspect as a result of, quote, mining Natalie's social media and phone records.
He used a fake hitman persona, and he agreed to meet her and kill her with her own gun, execution style.
While some of Natalie's friends and family had told investigators she had a history of suicidal thoughts, others said she was happy and looking forward to attending school.
Even if she asked for assistance, if he's the one who pulled the trigger, it's still murder.
No matter what anyone says, he pulled that trigger and he had a choice. We miss her, and we just want her here with us. She never will be again.
When investigators gain access to Natalie's email, they discover the Craigslist ad. It was posted at 6:25 a.m. 2 minutes later, Lopez replied, and 2 minutes after that, the post was reported and taken down. A 2-minute window, that's all it was. And out of the countless people who could have come across it in that sliver of time, it's seen by a man with a history of violent fantasies toward women. The odds of that are almost impossible to comprehend. A fleeting moment that would seal her fate. At a time when she was genuinely struggling and needed compassion, he chose to prey on her fear, her pain, and her vulnerability. Joseph Lopez is charged with second-degree murder. On February 9th, 2018, he appears in court and pleads guilty.
She had her entire life ahead of her until that December day. Natalie was my daughter, my firstborn child, a twin, a sister, a granddaughter, a niece, and a friend. She was loved beyond measure. As her mother, I loved her first. Before anyone saw her face, before Natalie was her name, before she was her own she, we were three. Mr. Lopez fulfilled a fantasy he had cultivated for years when he carried out the murder of my daughter. The wounded, grieving hearts of this family will be carried for the rest of our lives. Even worse, I think, than my own sorrow is that of Natalie's twin sister, Alicia.
After several emotional statements from Natalie's family, the judge gave Lopez the maximum sentence under his plea deal, 48 years in prison with 5 years parole. Natalie's maternal side of the family says they're at peace with the sentence.
Natalie Bollinger was known for her compassion. She had a way of showing up for people, friends, strangers, anyone who needed a hand. Helping others wasn't something she did. It was who she was. But Natalie also carried her own pain. She faced her struggles quietly, wrestling with thoughts and emotions that went largely unseen. Even those closest to her could not fully grasp the depth of what she was enduring. Natalie's family believes that in that moment of despair, when she reached out into the world, if the right person had recognized her distress, she would have accepted the same help she so often gave to others.